Good morning, everybody. How is it going? How is it going? It's Saturday and can't have double jointed if we don't have double the host. So filling in for Greg today is my good buddy Blake, a.k.a. ReconRage. How's it going, buddy? How you doing today?
It's going great. You know, I'll try to fill in for Greg as much as I can. I think the only thing I can bring right now is the matching haircut.
There you go. That's right. You know, we just toned down a little bit of shine. We have to, bring in makeup every week for Greg to make sure he's not too shiny. Let's say hello to the chat. Hey, look, ReconRage is here. J-Mac, 1-6 shooter. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hey to J-Mac. Hey to Trevor. Curtis is here. Good morning, Curtis. Wow. Andy says we've already hit enough likes to summon Trevor. Absolutely. We got Purple Ray. Hey, Purple Peeps.
What up?
Got Rob Zamora, El Spooky Zorro in the building. Hi, everybody. Yeah, Greg is away, slumming it with Brian Carr. No, they're out at the New Jersey ToyCon. Or is that what it's called? New Jersey ToyCon? I think ToyCon, New Jersey. I was like, there you go. I'll get it in a minute. So he's away this morning having some fun. He and his fiance stayed with Brian Carr and his family last night. Sent us some videos of Brian's toy basement, which, man, lucky to get to do that. So hey, Blake, how you doing, buddy? How's your week been?
Busy, but I'm glad it's Saturday and it's the weekend. That's
right. Absolutely. Same here. Let's see here. Also, we're going to say hey to the Jersey Shore Juggernaut. Monarch Prime is here. And so, yeah, hey, we got a fun show for you guys today. We're going to do the all of the regular segments that we normally do. We're going to do all of that. We're going to get to some commercials. We're going to play Name That Tune. We're going to do our wish list. We're going to go through a page from a 1980s Sears catalog, same catalog we looked at last week, but switching from the Star Wars section to a different section this week. And then because of we're going to do our hauls, show off some hauls of the week. I've got a little bit of stuff, and because Blake is here, I love to tap into the expertise of or the collections of the people that come on and fill in for Greg when he's out. And much like we did with Brian Carr, who walked us through Mondo's Masters of the Universe line, Blake is going to take us through one of his favorite collections, and that is Warhammer Joy Toys. So Andy, buckle up, buddy. You're going to be super happy about this episode. So we're going to double down on the Warhammer universe, mainly as it pertains to Joy Toys. So if that sounds good to everybody, let's just get going. Let's jump right into it. And let's see here. Let me get to the design because we've got some commercials. So let's do it.
After these messages.
All right. So let's get into it. We're going to run our very first commercial here. This was something I came across. This must have been, somebody can tell me in the chat, this must have been way later in the G.I. Joe cycle of the line, because I don't remember these.
To battle the evil Cobra Ninjas, the Joes unleash new Shadow Ninjas, masters of invisibility. Dunk them in warm water, invisibly concealed. Douse them with cold, true colors revealed. But Cobra's got Shadow Ninjas of their own. Stealth warriors with fast action ninja moves. They've got karate kicks and secret ninja tricks. Invisible, unbeatable, really deadly. Shadow Ninjas. G.I. Joe and Cobra Shadow Ninjas each sold separately. Color change takes 30 seconds. Incredible Shadow Ninja action, only with G.I. Joe!
Do you remember this particular faction of G.I. Joe?
I remember them. I didn't have any, but
I didn't either.
They're pretty darn cool.
They are very cool. I dig them. In the commercial, I'm gonna run it again and I'll turn the volume down. But there's this one particular move. Man, I think that's pretty neat. The backflip move. I wonder how many times they had to do that.
It's coming up. There it is.
How many times did they do that to get that just right, to get him to flip just like that, man? But that's great. I love how the guy comes on in the end and he's like, color change action takes 30 seconds. Like, like just to set your expectations. Okay. Let's see here. Heinrich says, "Oh, let's see here. We have Grumps. Good morning, Grumps. We have Heinrich. Good morning, Mark and Blake. Running errands. Good deal. Okay, Andy says, yeah, this was a late run in the 90s. This makes a lot of sense. This is probably why I don't remember them, because this was probably after I had stopped collecting." Monarch says, yeah, I think this was in the 90s. Rod's like, I don't remember this either. Yeah, Candyman 5,000. Good morning. Yeah, these are cool, though. I love the color change. I mean, of course, Zartan. I mean, I had Zartan who changed color. I never really understood why. It just didn't. I mean, it was like camouflage, but he kind of turned like a blue color. It didn't make sense to me, but I was like, I don't care. He's the coolest.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be a cool attribute.
No. Yeah. It doesn't have to make sense. So yeah, let's get into our next.
Super GoBots, the mightiest GoBots of all. Stacks, Leader 1 and Psykill sold separately.
Think you're big enough for the king of the road? Try me.
Mighty robots, mighty vehicles, robots.
Too big, Stacks. Not so fast, Psycho. Thanks, good buddy.
Super GoBots. Stacks, Leader 1 and Psykill each sold separately from Tonka.
Now, this is something else that I don't remember. I don't remember Super GoBots. I had regular GoBots like crazy, but not the super ones. I didn't remember that they made larger versions of these guys.
Yeah, I remember these because I thought the Super GoBots. That was like, that stuck in my head. So as soon as that commercial that started playing, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, man.
But I don't think I had any of those either.
I do not remember them making the larger ones, but it makes sense because I remember that maybe I did have one Super GoBot. I just thought it was a larger vehicle. So there was like this car that was like silver, black, and red, and it had like a translucent blue dome on the top of it, like windshield. And I remember that his chest would flip down as the hood of the car would flip down as his chest, like most Transformer cars did. And then the blue was like his head, like the blue windshield was his head. Like he didn't have like a head. And I think that might have been, now that I think about it, that might have been a Super GoBot, but I don't remember. I need to look that up and see which one. I remember having Super GoBots. I had Leader 1 and Psykill. Psykill, to this day, remains one of my favorite action figures. I have this one in my collection. This is the, here, I'll make myself a little bit bigger here.
It looks like you got a name on that, Mark. It looks like Andy said that was Psycho, the one you had.
Okay. All right. I'll have to look that up. This is from this is, I think, like a 2-year-old release. This is from a company, I think it's called Machine Robo. And they've been making some GoBot, remasters or whatever, like re-putting these figures out. But I love Psykill. I love the colors, and like his name is just awesome. And so yeah, I still love that guy, even though I don't have any of like the classic GoBots.
I had a good dad joke pop up there. I was looking at that figure and I thought, I wonder if he gets tired carrying those wheels around.
Okay, Andy says he was a Super GoBot. I'm gonna look this up real quick. GoBots. Let me look up Psycho. Yep, and he was a Super GoBot. Yep, exactly. Yep, thank you, Andy. I knew Andy was gonna have the information.
Andy's always on point.
It's always Andy.
Andy's like our human Wikipedia.
With the floating guts. Had captured 2 of the turtle's friends, Napoleon Bonafrog, a real horned toad, and Ray Fillet, the color-mutating mutant. Oh no, they're gonna cover them with retro-mutagen ooze. Wow, what hit them? Why, it's Panda Khan, the turtle's samurai buddy. Thought you said they were finished, Shredder. So I lied. From Playmates.
Okay, I only had 2 of these when I was a kid. I had Ray Fillet and Mutagen Man. That was the only two of these that I had growing up, and I loved Ray Fillet, man. I thought he was so cool. The name was cool. His design was cool. His
Ray
color
Fillet
palette.
is my favorite of those characters. Super 7 made a really cool Ray Fillet. I don't know if you ever saw that one, but that one was really neat. Don't buy a lot of Super 7, but I bought that one. That one was really cool.
Yeah, so I knew we hadn't run like a you would think that there are a lot of 80s toy commercials on YouTube. And I guess proportionately there are, but gosh, I think whenever I start during the week and I start searching up like 80s commercials, toy commercials, like I've gone through a ton of them. Like I'm starting to dwindle. And so now what I'm having to do is I'll find like these big blocks of toy commercials that may be like an hour long, and I'll just sit there and kind of go through them, and sometimes something will catch my attention. And so I knew we hadn't run a Ninja Turtle commercial in a while. I wanted to run one. So I was looking at Ninja Turtle commercials, and I came across this one just because I saw it had Mutagen Man, and he was always one of my favorites. And I said, I don't remember this commercial. Let me check it out. And so I watched it, and it had Panda Khan in it. And that stood out to me because just this week, as part of NECA's Haulathon, NECA revealed their Panda Khan figure. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the minute because he shows up last in this commercial. And I was like, oh crap, like that's so topical because NECA just revealed PandaCon. And I didn't have this guy, but I'll say, man, like this cartoon version looks really good. I don't buy NECA cartoon figures at all. Like I mean, I think I have one. I have the cartoon Raphael, but I prefer the toy versions, like from Super 7. So I have some of those, but when I saw this, I was just like, oh man, like that does look really cool.
Yeah, this NECA cartoon turtle line is very awesome. It's just really deep, and for those people of that lore from this series and everything, they're definitely getting treated to every figure you can think of from that cartoon series. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think they're real deep into that line because now when they announce stuff, I'm like, I have no idea who this is. Like they're making humans. They're making 2-packs of characters I've never heard of. And I'm like, man, they must be going deep, like scraping the bottom of that barrel, Yeah. I would love to see how many, maybe Andy knows, maybe somebody in the comments knows how many cartoon Ninja Turtle figures has NECA made. I mean, it's gotta be in like the couple of hundreds, right? Like it's gotta be. It seems like it's a ton.
There's a lot, that's for sure.
Andy says he remembers, he always loved the little black and green Psycho. I don't remember that one. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, Andy, I'm the same. I can remember toys and stuff from 40 years ago, but I can't remember why I went to the kitchen. Yep, absolutely.
The only one I bought from this cartoon series that I thought was really cool. I mean, there's a lot of them. They're all cool. Let's just put that way with back to space and money, right? But
yeah,
when I saw Belly Bomb on the shelves, I don't know. He just spoke to me. He's just such a goofy character looking, such a cool design, mouth in his belly. He's like, and, so I had to grab him. So I have Belly Bomb.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of like dinosaurs that NECA's put out, like the Triceraton or something like, I don't remember their names, but they look great. Like one of them just has on white underwear. And I was like, I don't like, what did they make this figure for like 3 people on the planet? There's like, I need that version, but in the white underwear. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh man. But yeah. So that was great. Yeah, man. I love.
Do you know if they had sandals on? Do you know if they had sandals on if their toes were out? Or?
Let's see here. I know he does.
Oh, look at well, he's got his Japanese socks on, so his toes aren't showing.
Oh, okay. All right. I just thought maybe those were his toes because he's white, because he's
I just wanted to do a toe check. I know there's people in here wanted to make sure what's going on with toes.
I've already put that to bed. I hadn't even thought about it. It's like it just goes right over my head. So while I was looking at Target's website for that PandaCon page, to pull up. I got to looking at Mutagen Man, and I think I may have to pick up like a classic Mutagen Man because he was one of my favorites when I was a kid. But I have choices because I know that NECA's made one from the cartoon, which looks a little different. I know Super 7 has made an Ultimates version, which looks amazing. And then there's the Playmates retro version that's out at Walmart. So I'm like, I've got like, and that's like literally made from the original toy. So I don't really know which one to pick up, but I think I need one on my shelf back here. So yeah. All right, man, let's get into it. We're this one's gonna test you guys because I knew what this was just because I watched the intro to the show, but even through the intro of the show, I was like, I have no memory of this cartoon. It sounds like I can't remember my childhood, but like I remember it vividly, but I don't remember ever watching this cartoon. Did not know it had a cartoon. I had several of the toys from the show. But then when I went and watched the clip, I was like, first of all, the intro is one of the most badass 80s cartoon intros of all time. So I can't wait for the reveal. So I'm just stop hyping it. And we're going to get into our Name That Tune section because I want to see if anybody can get this. Name that tune. All right, here we go. So we're going to play a clip from an 80s cartoon. It's going to be this one's actually a pretty lengthy clip. It's about 34 seconds. And we're going to see if anybody can pull it. I think there might be one clue as to what this is in the clip. We'll see if anybody picks up on it.
The message was relayed as you ordered, Excellency. I was told we were to wait. If the Life Eater chooses to accept the commission, he will come to us. And when might that be?
The time is now. One called Sawboss. What is it you wish of me?
You know what I want.
Then let me hear it from your own lips.
All right. I would fail at this so hard. I would first say Voltron. I'd go, oh, those look like the Voltron villains, but I would be so wrong. Does anybody... Boy, look at all this. Oh, look at all these people jumping in.
What I like is the voice. I think it is absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason, the Wheeled Warriors. Yeah, I definitely would not have picked Wheeled Warriors. I definitely wouldn't have gotten Jason, the Wheeled Warriors. Man, Andy, you're so right. We're about to watch it. The intro is one of the most badass 80s anime cartoon intros of all time. So let's just roll it.
Thundering across the stars to save the universe from the monster minds. Jace searches for his father to unite the magic root and lead his Lightning League to victory over the changing form of Sawboss. Wheeled warriors explode into battle. Lightning strikes.
There's a power that comes from deep inside of you. It's every day reaching toward the light. And you know there's a long way ahead of you. But when your wheels get you there, things will turn out right. Just keep on turning, don't stop rolling. The fire is on. We're warriors. The drums burning, our wheels moving. We're warriors. Come take a chance, keep on turning, don't stop rolling. The fire is on. We're warriors. The drums burning, our wheels moving. We're warriors. We're warriors.
Man, I got to tell you, that is a damn bop. That song is incredible. Like, I was like watching this come on and I'm like, what is this cartoon? Like, what is this? Like, this is up there with like Transformers with a theme song, you know, like this is banging. And then when I started seeing like all the vehicles and like the vines and shit. And I was like, I had a couple of these, but I had no idea this was a cartoon.
Yeah, I wonder if Europe, the 80s cover band, did the song for this because it was kind of like the final you know, wheel.
Yeah.
It had that flow to it, which was really cool.
Dang. Okay, so you guys got to tell me in the chat, the three of you who like just bam, 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 like rattled it off. Like, I got to tell you, did you get it from the character designs and the or when he called him Sorbos or Sarbos? Was that the, because I thought about, should I bleep that little part out, because I was like, they called the bad guy by his name, and I was like, is that what? Hey, J. Michael Straczynski wrote a lot of these 80s cartoons. Last week or the week before, I played a clip from a show. I forgot what the name of the show was, but it was the clip where like it was like an old wizard and his daughter are hiding in this hut, and like this robotic bear thing come tearing through. Like that intro says, you know, story written by, that was the Visionaries. And it said that episode was written, I think, by J. Michael Straczynski. And then I think I came across some intros to some cartoons of like Real Ghostbusters that J. Michael Straczynski wrote. So like that dude was like, he had one of the greatest jobs in the 80s, just writing children's cartoons.
Yeah, that doesn't suck.
Yes,
That's for sure.
Absolutely. If you played this theme on the radio, nobody would know it was a cartoon theme. Like, oh my gosh. Saw Boss. Okay, Saw Boss. Okay, all right. I didn't know what yeah. My gosh. Like I had some of these like little vehicles and you could plug the different, but that intro, dude, that's got everything. It's got like a really cool magical like young kid with like a magical ring, and they're in like these vehicles that transform, and then there's like plant monsters and aliens and like a plucky little girl sidekick who shouldn't be driving, but she's driving, who's like Pidge from like Voltron, and then there's like a wizard that's like, that one, like, what did that intro not have? Like I need to go back. I need to go back and watch this show. But yeah, man, I'm glad you guys nailed it, because I was like, what is this? But yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, so now is the point in time when we go and we grab that like 80s era Sears catalog and we start thumbing through to see what we can find for Christmas. All right, so this is from the Sears 1980s Christmas catalog. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Let's just do it like this. So this is a G.I. Joe page. Can I make this any larger? No, I can't. Oh, let me look at my options here. No, none of this is working. Oh man, nothing is good here. I wish I could just share my screen, but for some reason Restream doesn't like sharing the screen. So this is really cool. So, you know, kind of like what I can do here for me, at least on my end. I don't know how big this is for you, as I can at least look at the original file. But we got a lot of G.I. Joe vehicles here. Vehicles were like a huge part of the G.I. Joe toy line. And much like, what does it say? Okay, hang on. Rob says, you play the song, but have a blackout screen and see if people can guess just by hearing it. Oh, Rob, that's a great idea. That's a brilliant idea, dude. Start playing theme songs with just if people can guess what it is before before the theme part comes in, like when the name of the song is sung. That would be fantastic. That's a great idea, dude. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to pull up the original file, at least on my end, because I want to be able to look at some prices, because the pricing always blows me away, like how much some stuff cost. But Blake, we like to play this game here where, you know, if we had this catalog and we had it opened, you know, like sometimes I'd be like, man, if I could get 5 things on this page, or if I could, you know, had $100 and I could spend $100, like what would I buy? But one of the things I used to always do is like when they were segmented like this, I would ask myself, I'd be like, all right, what if I could get like 4 things from the top, 1 from the middle, and like 2 from the bottom, like what would I get? So, all right, man, Blake, did you collect G.I. Joe as a kid?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was weird. I was back and forth, but yeah, I did collect some.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, G.I. Joe was huge, man, for me and my best friend Derek and his older brother. He had an older brother named Richie who was like 2 years older than us. And so like our parents would they would get together and they'd collaborate for birthdays and Christmases, and they'd be like, okay, are we going to do a Star Wars Christmas? Or are we going to do a G.I. Joe Christmas? And then like they would alternate between, like, sometimes I would get a bunch of Joes and they would get a lot of Cobra, and then I would get Cobra for our birthday, and then they would get Joe's for a birthday. And so they would swap. We had the two coolest sets of parents around because they actually would get together and figure this stuff out and work it out for us. And I love that. I thought it was great. It just made for like a great childhood. But I loved G.I. Joe as a kid, especially the vehicles. So let's go through this in this little top section. All right. Let's say you get 4 choices. What are you walking away with?
Well, for sure, they had the Hiss tank.
Oh, yeah.
The Vamp. I can't remember the Snowmobile. Oh, what's his name's Snowmobile? And then, of course,
is that the Snowcat, or was the
Snowcat, I think it's the
bigger,
Snowcat,
or was the bigger one called the Snowcat? I can't remember.
And of course, I mean, it's a toss-up between the the Hiss, and of course, I think that's 2 up there, the Jet. So, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, okay, so the snow vehicle is listed as number 7. It just says winter vehicle. So maybe they didn't have a name when they did the catalog. I know this thing had a name, though. Andy, come on. What was the name of just that little snowmobile?
I think was it the Snowcat? For some reason, that sounds correct.
I think this Snowcat was that bigger vehicle that had, like, the 2 people could sit in the cockpit, and it had yellow missiles on the back, and it had tank treads on the back.
Yes, you're right, actually.
Because I think that's the Snowcat. So I don't know what number 7 is, because it just, it doesn't say. But that vehicle, number 7, that vehicle is $5.55. Oh, it's the Polar Battle Bear. Thank you, Andy. I would have to come away with the Stinger. Here at number 5, it's just called the Cobra Night Attack Vehicle, but I remember that was the Stinger.
Yeah, the Stinger.
I love that vehicle. Let's see, number 6, which is that blue, they call it the Blue Gun Pod. I know that thing had a different name. It always looked weird to me, but I really hope they make that in the classified line. I can attach it to the back of my Stinger and drive that thing around. I'll take the snowmobile, the Polar Battle Bear. I love snow vehicles. I want them to make one right now. So much. Yeah. Snowcat was the bigger half track. Yep, that's right. And then probably number 12. What is that thing? That's called the Slugger. But like that little tank, man, like that just looks great. That looks so good.
That's actually. Well, they all look great.
Yeah. Oh man. And then I didn't even notice there's like Spirit and Blowtorch down there. And okay. All right. From the bottom half of the page, let's see here. You get 3 choices from the bottom half of this page. What are you coming home with?
Oh, well. Obviously, the Whale.
Oh, that Whale is nice.
And then the Rattler, which I'm wondering when we're going to see that from my HasLab.
Yeah. William just asked that question. He's like, when are we going to see our classified Rattler? Yeah.
Or it's our attack helicopter, which I already have, and it's amazing. The new version.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go all water vehicles. I want the Shark with Deep Six.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
The water moccasin with Copperhead was one of my favorites, and then I gotta have Zartan on his Chameleon. Like I have to have those. Those are like, and it really upsets me that Hasbro at first they sort of announced. I don't know if this will always be the same. But I know that Hasbro announced that that they have no interest in doing watercraft in the G.I. Joe line. I think they said, God, what's his name with the beard? Lenny? Did Lenny say once, no boats? They're not going to do any boats, which really, really irks me because they had some. I want the Devilfish from G.I. Joe, like the little orange Devilfish, like that little orange, like 1-person boat. Like I want that, and the Chameleon. The water moccasin. Man, there's so many cool boats. I
kind of wonder where they came up with that decision, though, and why you would go with that because the Whale is is a definite, funded piece, for a
Yeah.
HasLab. Well, it doesn't need to be a HasLab, but let's just put it that way. It would be if it was a HasLab, it would definitely hit its stretch goals. And then the whole idea of not making any boats is kind of odd. They've done air, land, but no sea, and it seems kind of odd that they would just kibosh that. But
Right.
and William had a good comment. So for the Dragonfly, he says it's promo pick and the rotor blades of the Dragonfly are sagging. Well, from what I remember, that's actually really good. When I remember in the Marine Corps and dealing with the attack helicopters like the AH-1H Cobra and stuff like that, the blades do sag when they're sitting there. They don't sit perfectly. Yeah, they kind of sit like blades kind of sometimes sag. The longer they are, they kind of just sag a little bit when they're sitting dormant on the wherever, LZ, whatever you want to call it. So I thought it was kind of cool.
Very neat. Very neat. Oh man. Yeah, land, air, and sea. We definitely need it. I don't know when we'll see the next when we'll see the Rattler. I'm assuming that we're gonna see the Rattler probably in the fall. If I had to guess, probably October, September, November. I would imagine we'll probably see it there. Thank God we've all already paid for it, and they've already collected the money. And I don't see Hasbro like holding them hostage with, but now you have to pay like an extra 10% tariff charge. Like, I don't see that happening, but I would imagine it'll probably be built into the price of whichever one we get this June. So I think we were going to be getting like a big G.I. Joe announcement back in February or March. And Greg and I had planned a whole episode around what our choices were going to be. Because I think the logic and the rumor mill was that it would be a G.I. Joe vehicle and it would be a larger land-based vehicle, because we got the His Tank and then we got the Dragonfly, and then we got the Cobra Rattler. So it makes sense that this time would be a Joe vehicle, and since we had a big land vehicle for Cobra, that it would be a Joe land vehicle. And so we built a whole episode, we made our selections, and then that announcement got canceled. So I'm assuming they're just waiting for a different time. So, we have Yo-Joe June every year. So I'm sure that they're getting ready to, like, maybe in May, we'll start seeing them ramp up the teasing and we'll probably have a better idea of what it may be. But yeah, man, there's so many vehicles to choose from and little tiny play sets. And I'm glad they're starting to give us those. So
what did you guys, I'm curious, what did you guys end up picking? What did you think it was? Or in that episode?
Oh, we're gonna run it. What we did was we just held it off. We just held off on it. We still have our selections, and we're gonna run it. Hopefully, when the teasers start coming out, it's gonna tease like Joe and land vehicles. If not, if it's like the very first one is like, "Brr, it's getting cold," we'll probably have to go and revamp our choices. But yeah, let's get back to the comments. I think Andy was talking about the blue battle pod on the back that could be carried by what's called the ASP. I think that's right. That's really cool. Let's see here. If you did this with superpowers, I would be broken. I don't know if I could pick. I could tell you my favorite kid before my favorites. I could tell you my favorite kid before favorites. Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yeah, I would be broke. Let's see. Speaking of sharks, the neck and jaws looks pretty awesome. It does look really awesome. It does look great. I also didn't know that was also like a tribute to like another toy that we had. I don't remember if it was a Jaws toy, but there was a shark that came with like a lot of like stuffed in its belly.
Yep.
And I know that I think that's what NECA like modeled it after, so that's really cool. And then Andy's like, probably how terrible the Fortnite boat. So yeah, but I don't know if Fortnite's the right like market for us as collectors. I mean, we didn't grow up on Fortnite, so I know a lot of people turn that boat into like Joe stuff, but gives me some time to make room for my Rattler. Yeah, like you guys can't really see it, but let's see if I can do it. But right there, oh God, how does motion work? That right there is who is that guy? That's Crazy Legs, and he's hanging. Let's see if I can do this. He's hanging from my Dragonfly,
Oh,
which
nice.
is hanging from the ceiling with Wild Bill and Glinda and the other guy. The other
That's a cool
character in the
setup.
game.
That's cool that you got that hanging like that.
Yeah, and I don't have any fear that it's going to break. Like I have some really good, like high quality fishing line, and it's like through like these little screws that are like into the ceiling, so it's good. It's not. Yeah, I have heard the same. I heard it's between the Mauler, the Snowcat, and maybe the Havoc. Yep, I would love the Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be down for that. But honestly, I'm okay with the air vehicles because I can put them in my ceiling. I don't have to make shelf space. I think it's a big land vehicle. I don't know, but yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. During the pandemic, Monarch says he got Sergeant Slaughter and the Triple T tank for under fit. I love that Triple T tank, man. I'd be down for that for sure. Okay, so we got through all the 80s stuff. So let's if you have any pickups, we're gonna do some pickups right now. Where's the pickups? All right, I know we were talking before before we actually went live that you've been doing some traveling recently for work. Are you buying anything? Like, do you stop at stores along the way and like check out like Targets or Walmarts or like mom and pop shops or comic stores?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I get on a mission and do drives, I just go from point A to point B to get it done with, you know, and then when I get there, if there's something in the area, then I'll do a little bit of a toy hunt, jump in a Target or Google out a toy store that's something unique in the area that I went to that I, don't get a chance to go to. So
Very cool. So do you have any pickups from this
I
past
do.
week?
I actually do. Yeah, a couple of them pretty much standard but this pickup I got was definitely from one of your videos, and you're the one that enabled me to.
Oh, nice.
So now I have the soft goods for the Jada Toys Fei Long.
Absolutely nice, man. Yeah, I've been enabling a few people. One of my good friends here locally, Scott, just he had Ryu and Chun-Li. He was just like, I'm just gonna have like basic characters, and then he was like, I got to get Fei Long. So he got Fei Long, and he's like, what was that soft goods thing you picked up? And I was like, okay, here's the link to that. And he was like, all right, now I'm in. I gotta go buy more. I think he's pre-ordered. Like he went and bought like Cammy and Dawson. Yeah, we've been talking about it all morning. Those are good soft goods at a good price. Yeah.
Yeah, the soft goods are really nice. I was actually kind of impressed, with the detail and the stitching. Even his little loops on his jacket are done correctly. And then I got the controversial, but yet, is what it is. I still, just like everyone else, there's a lot of people that complain, but I got them.
Ooh, nice. You got it in hand.
Yeah. I haven't opened it yet. I've seen a ton of reviews. He'll definitely come out of the plastic coffin this weekend. And, but would I say from what I've seen that he is the best looking Spider-Man, at least I'm a Todd McFarlane Spider-Man guy. So I like the big eyes. And I like that he has the little kind of squinch head. A lot of people don't realize he has that extra squinch head right there, even though it's a smaller version. It's kind of winking a little bit. But yeah, no, it looks good. I'm not going to get into the conversation about what everyone else wants to do, but I say just for the figure itself, happy to have it. So,
man, listen, my whole take on this it's not even a controversy for me, is that, do I think it is too expensive for a Marvel Legends figure? Yeah, I do. I do think it's too expensive. But at the end of the day, it's your money, man. You buy what you want. Like, I know good and well, like there are people out there that would say, why in the world would you spend $100 on a Mafex Spider-Man India figure? And I'm like, well, because to me, like that Spider-Man India is a beautiful design, a beautiful character. He looks amazing. He was fun on screen. He's fun in hand. Like, so to me, it's just like, we're going to get into it because I have something very much like that in my haul and that went up for review this week. So maybe we'll touch on that a little bit further. This week I did get in and my review for it went up yesterday. This is the Super 7. Oh, look at that. Teaser. Go ahead and show that guy off.
Two more. Rom. And I actually bought two of these. I had seen a couple videos early enough that I knew I wanted this. I love this figure. And then when I heard how amazing this figure is, I'm keeping one on card.
Nice. Yep.
just because the card layout is just so classic. And I mean, it's got this little comic book. It talks got the actual like I think this one, there's not much. I keep my
I
card.
love retro blister card packaging so much better than like the Marvel Legends boxes they put out.
The last one, I'll let you get going.
Whoa, dude, you got bangers. I want that.
If Chris Chaotic watches this video, Chris Chaotic from Creative Beast Studios, he knows how much I've wanted this. In fact, 2 Legion Cons ago, so 2023, I had a cameo on they actually did a cameo interview on this figure for me live at Legion's Con. And then I did another one last year at Legion's Con on this figure. And Kurakami is just, so awesome. It is so awesome. And at a 1/18 scale, and we'll get there, place that with a couple of my Ultramarines. Oh boy.
Yeah,
and I don't
for sure.
And for the record, I don't collect anything 1/18 except for my Joy Toy figures. But so this is the first, honestly, anything non-Joy Toy that I bought that's 1/18. But this will look really cool sitting on one of those shelves over there, or maybe on top, just with some Ultramarines standing in front, maybe a little Titus from Space Marines 2 sitting out front with his lit up helmet with LED lights, which they make now.
I've seen pics of that dragon or that creature, that beast, whatever it is, online, and it looked amazing. But I got to see it in person because they were at Toylanta, and I got to see that thing in person. And what's the price tag on it? It's like $275, $290. Is that right?
$259 on BBTS, I think.
Okay, so $260. So, man, to me, like that's worth it. Like,
oh yeah,
it doesn't go with anything that I have or I collect, but it is such a beautiful piece that I'm like, I gotta have that. Like that thing looks incredible, like I can honestly say that had I not been fortunate enough to get myself a Mythic Legions dragon, I probably would have drowned my sorrows and paying the money for one of those guys instead and been like, well, I got me a dragon and it's here now and I can enjoy it. But yeah, that thing is gorgeous, man. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, no,
throwing it in with Warhammer is pretty smart. That's pretty smart. Jurassic Joe Goji fan 1993 said apparently. Oh no. Who am I looking for? Oh, same guy. He says, do you guys reckon the Marvel Legends Deadpool 3 Deadpool is worth it? If by Deadpool 3, if you're talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine Marvel Legends figure, if that's what you're referring to, I would say that this is probably my favorite Deadpool that I own, and not because it's the only Deadpool figure that I own, but I've owned a lot of Deadpool figures and ended up getting rid of them. And I walked into my Target, saw this guy on the shelf for $24.99, and he is absolutely incredible. He has all of the articulation that you could possibly want. I know that there is some fans that are angry that he has pinned legs because they didn't go back and redo the legs, but he has pinless arms. Everything's double jointed. He moves great. He looks good. I think this is one of those figures where, because he is in a mask, the likeness isn't going to be like, if it's a little off, you can't complain, or you wouldn't complain. Or maybe you would. I don't know. This guy just looks great. He comes with the guns, and he has the swords. And I don't know. I don't think it was Marvel Legends, but I think maybe it was like either the SH Figure Arts or the Mafex version. There was one that didn't come with guns, but came with swords. And then there was one that did come with guns. So you have to like buy different versions. This guy's incredible. So if this is the figure you're talking about, Jurassic Goji fan, let me know. I think it's worth it. Now, that depends on the price and how much it's worth to you. But when I walked into a store and found it for $25, I was like, yeah, I am very happy that I paid that for that figure. If that's
you'll be able to get the new Deadpool. There'll probably be a maximum Deadpool, and that won't have pinless legs.
Sure. Hey, I'm surprised that the Incredible Hulk was the next figure that they went with. I thought for sure it was going to be a Captain America or a Wolverine. I thought Wolverine was my first choice, and then Captain America would be my next choice for like their maximum series. I was surprised that it was Hulk, And I would love it if they did a Maximum Daredevil. That would be incredible. I mean, that would hit hard for a lot of people.
My takeaway for that one, Mark, really is this Maximum line needs to be maximum what Hasbro can bring with their technology.
Yeah.
And the Hulk doesn't have pinless. And I would love to see them just like, hey, this is Maximum. Here's why you're getting this, paying a little extra money. This is the best we have in joints, legs, paint, weapons, you name it. And that would be excellent. And I think a lot of people would just be
right. And I do know that, like, I think that there's some parts on the Hulk that are reused from previous Hulks that I saw somebody pointing out. And so, yeah, I agree with you. If you're going to charge double, like what your regular characters cost, and you're calling it Maximum, that it ought to be bringing the A game. Like Curtis says, Mark, that's because Mafex is awesome. Yes, it is. There is nothing in this world like holding a brand new Mafex figure out of the package. I'm going through it right now with this guy. I just got the Spider-Man 2099 from Mafex.
Oh, that's nice.
Dude, I mean, this thing, the joints are just butter smooth. They're tight, but not too tight. There is nothing like getting this in hand. And like, I like CT Toys. I like the KOs. They're really good, but they can be loose and floppy and they look good, but they don't have the quality of articulation and the stiffness. And there's just nothing in the world like, to me, this is, and yeah, I know it's weird because people are like, oh, you get mad over a $50 Spider-Man, but you just paid $110 for this guy. I didn't pay $110. I mean, some sites have him for that. I paid $85 off of eBay with free shipping. It did take about a week and a half for it to arrive, but it came in perfectly packaged. And like, to me, it's just, I think what you pay it's individual. Is it worth it to you? That's it. You know?
Yep.
Like,
your value is the perception of your reality.
I paid $30 for this. Somebody would probably come up and go, why'd you pay $30 for it? Well, I love that character. And it transforms and it reminds me of my childhood and it makes me happy. It brings me joy. And so while nobody else may want to pay $30 for that, I do. And so it's all subjective. It's all about what you do you have any other pickups? We'll jump right into that. Was that all your pickups?
That was it. We're ready for yours. Let's see them.
I got this guy this week. He's out of the package. He's already busted out. This is the Super 7. This is their Super Kaiju line. So this is a 5-inch line. So think reaction, but plussed up. I don't have anything on my shelf from Godzilla -1. And so, this was a $35 figure. Here, I'll kind of blow it up. This is a $35 figure. I just did a review yesterday for this guy. He's got like 7-8 points of articulation. He's got a bendy tail. The spines they have enough give to where, like, if he falls off your shelf for any reason, which he wouldn't, because he's got this tail to keep him balanced, they're not going to break. He's known as the train biter. Comes with a little train that he can bite. Pretty self-explanatory. But I just love, look at that. He's got the Chun-Li thighs. Look at that, man.
Chun-Li thighs. I like that. That's
dude.
Good.
This figure is so much fun. I mean, $35, and it doesn't have a lot of articulation, but I don't have the money or the room to display the Ultimates version, which I would love. That thing's like about $85, $90. So this will take his little place. I'm okay paying that for that figure. Let's see. Got in some stuff from Big Bad Toy Store this week. I got in the what they call the Invisible Skeletor from the cartoon collection. I don't remember this episode, but it was seen in the episode Disappearing Act, where I don't know what the deal is. Maybe somebody in the chat, he gets the helmet of invisibility, but he also, and that's what makes him invisible, but he also has Orko's cloak. I don't know why he has Orko's cloak, but here's the cool thing. The cloak is removable. You don't have to put the helmet on. It's right there. Otherwise, it's just a completely translucent Skeletor with an extra faceplate. Look at that. Like, you can literally like swap his faceplate out, which is cool. I don't think Mattel has done that yet on any of their Skeletors, and that's brilliant. So yeah, I love this. This is really cool. He's going to be opened up. with Andor season 2 just hitting, and no spoilers, but if you guys aren't watching it and you're Star Wars fans, do yourself a favor, turn this off and go watch it right now. It's incredible. Episode 3, I am not even sure how it got past the mouse lawyers, because if you've seen episode 3, me and my wife turned to each other and we're like, are they really about to do this? Like, that's a whole new word. That term, that's a whole new term for things in Star Wars. We've never been there before. But this got re-released. I don't know if he has updated face print technology or if this is literally just a re-release of the one that came before. But it's the only figure from Andor that I didn't have from Rogue One was Director Krennic. So I went ahead and picked him up from Big Bad Toy Store because he was back out again. And I didn't own one. I need to get him a custom cape because that plastic cone is not going to work on my shelf. And of course, Hasbro announces a new one because apparently he gets a costume change in Andor season 2. I had the privilege of buying 3 of these for friends of mine at Toylanta, but I wasn't able to pick one up myself. But I did remember that Big Bad Toy Store was going to have some of these in stock, and I was very lucky to get one last week, and that is the Toylanta exclusive eraser,
Nice.
purple translucent version, purple, from Operation Monster Force. I was off last Friday when these went back up for sale on Big Bad Toy Store, and I had a really busy day and I was kind of exhausted, and I took a nap, and I laid down to take a nap late in the day. It was like 5 o'clock, and I was like, oh, I have to get up at 6, and just come on in. Just come right on in. You need paper? Oh, sketchbook? Okay, fantastic. Doesn't knock, doesn't care. Dad's recording. She's just like, I need something.
You didn't tell us about the special guest.
I know, right? I was like, oh, these go live at 6. I need to set my alarm. So I set an alarm, and it went off at like 5:59. I logged on to Big Bad Toy Store, searched for it, found it. There it was, bought one, refreshed. They were sold out. So I don't know if they had 5 left from the show that they put up on Big Bad Toy Store, but within a minute, those things were like gone, and I'm really glad I got one. 2 more things that I received this week. One, both of them are insane. One is the Star Wars, the Black Series, Ronin and R5D56 Japanese Celebration exclusive. These went up last Saturday morning on Amazon, and they were in stock, $70. And it shipped Saturday. I got it Monday. I couldn't believe it. Had I gone to Tokyo Celebration, bought it, and shipped it home, I still probably wouldn't have it. It would still be in transit. I couldn't believe. I did a review of this. Again, like the Spider-Man, this is $70 for one whole figure and a droid. And somebody can look at that and go, that's too expensive to pay. You got a special box, great. I think most of the money went into the fact that the figure is all brand new, like the Ronin figure. There's no reuse. And I don't know if they'll ever be able to reuse any of those parts ever again. So I think that's where most of the money went. But I said it in my review, and I heard somebody else say it in their review. I think it was MCU Collector. He was like, is $70 too much to pay for this? Absolutely. Am I glad that I paid $75 for or $70 for this? Absolutely. Like, it's overpriced. It's expensive, but am I upset? Not a bit. Not one bit. I am not angry at that price point at all. Would I have loved it to been $50? Absolutely. But I got it. And then my last pickup is, of course, Ganesha. I got mine yesterday. I thought it was going to arrive today, but it arrived early. I haven't opened it other than taking the slip cover off and just to like look at it and of course smell it because it smells so good. So for the last few weeks, last month or so, all of my Mythic Monday reviews have all been Necronominous. I still have more to get through, but this will be going up for review on Monday. We're going to take a break from Necro and dive into the elephants.
My Ganesha shipped. Obviously, I'm out here East Coast to West Coast, so it's going to take a while. But I'm supposed to have it Tuesday, but everything from Four Horsemen shows up early. It went through FedEx, and so I usually get it anywhere from 1 to 2 days earlier from what they say the arrival date is, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mine said it was going to be delivered on Saturday. I was like, crap, if it's going to be on Saturday, it'll be later than the show. I won't be able to show it off. But then on Thursday, I checked and it said Jacksonville. And I was like, I know that because I live in Tallahassee. If it says Jacksonville, then that means it's arriving the next day. So I was like, I'm actually going to get it tomorrow. Hey, Grumps, where's Smerbinator? He is with Brian Carr, and they are at ToyCon New Jersey today. So they are shopping it up at ToyCon New Jersey, where I do believe Ganesha is probably on sale there, and people can buy it without the shipping.
Four Horsemen put out some pictures today on their socials, and they show some people. I think D Amazing. They have a picture of D Amazing holding his from getting it at the New Jersey ToyCon, or ToyCon New Jersey.
Absolutely. Curtis says he'll be listening, but quiet in the chat. Got to go start dropping picks and pricing from a claim sale going on in the Purple Gang group. Absolutely. If you don't know, Curtis is having like a massive claim sale. He's going to be dropping picks. If you want it, you claim it. First person to claim it gets it at that price.
Nice.
And absolutely, he does have some bangers for sale. The one
superpowers, like original superpowers in clamshell.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the one I have is a duller color. I thought that the next maximum would be Iron Man with a bunch of attachments. Hey, I'm sure it's coming. He's one of their top tier characters. I hope they learn from the Hulk failure and keep trying for max figures. Yep, me too. Mattel is stepping up their game with their dinosaur collection. I have a local friend, Freddie. He is all into Jurassic Park. He loves dinosaurs, and man, he just always blows us away when he gets a new figure. He'll post it in our group, and I'm like, dang, that looks good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yep, Fresh Monkey Fictions their figures are very nice in hand. Andy says he only wants the droid from that. Hey, yeah, the R5D56 looks really cool. If you haven't had a chance, Andy, to check out the review. The hat is not removable, however, so his little hat stays on. Toy opening party for you. Yeah, that's about what happens. Unfortunately, I have this really bad habit of like buying figures, and I'm like, ooh, I want to review that, and then I don't open them, and they sit in my floor until I can review them. Then I get to open them and play with them. But it's like I make myself wait until. It looks like Jurassic Goji's got to head out. So thanks for the stream, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for dropping in and talking to us. All right. So I think that's it for all of our stuff. I think we're going to get into our double down. So let me find that video clip. Oh, wait. We're doing unboxings. We got to do that first. So our unboxings are gonna dovetail very nicely into our double down today, which is all about Warhammer and Joy Toy. Hey, Eric Miller is in the group. Hey, buddy, glad you could make it. So what are we opening today? Because it's going to go right into what we're talking about. What have you got to open?
The Legion's Praetor from Sons of Horus Heresy.
Oh my gosh, that guy looks incredible. And I am going to be opening up the Joy Toy Terminator's brother Caesarion. So I don't know what this guy does, but I'm sure that he goes throughout the land performing Caesarian C-sections wherever necessary. I'm sure he's a medical professional. That's what.
Oh yeah, he's not known for reviving people. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Uh-oh, what I got? Oh, does this guy come with a base? Oh, look at that. I've never seen one of my Joy Toy figures come with a base before.
Yeah, they started this about these type of stands and stuff about a little over 2 years ago. They were pretty good at putting them in.
That's really cool. I'm glad that they do that. So my guy doesn't come with a lot. Man, they go all out. Look, they have their own little sugar packets. Look at that. It's a Joy Toy branded sugar.
Is that stevia or is it aspartame? Anybody watching this, do not eat this stuff. We're just joking around. Be surprised. Yeah. Some kids watching the YouTube stream and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm going to put that on my cereal.
Yeah. This says environmental desiccant. Do not eat. Keep away from children. They have to put do not eat on there because somebody has probably picked it up and ate it. They were like, oh, cool, candy.
Well, it's like what Fush always says. He's like, guys, don't put the things in your mouth.
Yeah, don't put it in your mouth. This guy is a hefty, hefty beast.
Yeah, he's a,
So talk us through this. Are there parts on these Joy Toy figures that are metal, or are they like some other type of super dense material?
yeah. So about almost about 3 years, they started on a couple of their different figures, and I've got a bunch over here. I can bring them over if we need be. They started popping in metal joints, whether it's a ball joint, and some have metal ball joints. If you like spread their legs and look inside there, you'll see like either an actual metal ball joint, or they have metal, whether it's a hip joint or it's a double jointed arm joint, depending on the figure, what type of character it is. So yeah, so that was a I think the old figures they've come a long way. I have everything. I literally have every figure since they first released, and I don't say that to brag. I say it because I was just so much into it. I love the design and the lore and the world of Warhammer, which there's basically two main divisions in the history of Warhammer. There's many factions and storylines, but yeah, I mean, you're talking about a line of figures made by a very awesome company that is attention to detail. Joy Toys always put out really awesome figures at 1/18 scale, no matter what they are, even if you're in their mech lines or some of their own IPs they developed. But when they got the license from Games Workshop 5.5 years ago, the first figures came out. I mean, they were absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing wrong with the first release figures, except some will tell you that some of the joints are maybe a little loose, or just like there's a couple figures here and there that could have, been a little bit tighter. But they were also cutting their teeth with this new molds, new dies, stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, these figures to me not only do they feel good in your hand, it's the paint that blows me away. The paint is like people who professionally paint miniatures for Warhammer. It's just ridiculous. So I just wanted to show off. This is a standard Warhammer figure from Joy Toy. They're about 4 inches tall. That's about how, so I guess that's the 1/18 scale. So the 3 3/4 inch. So they're about 4 inches, because I guess Ultramarines are supposed to be bigger than humans. So the guy that I'm opening up, Brother Caesarian, this is how he stacks up to a regular Joy Toy. So like a regular Marine, like he is he's in, I guess, your Hulkbuster armor, which is what this guy reminds me of. It reminds me of like the blue Iron Man armor, like in Iron Man 3. That's what it reminds me of. But I did want to open another guy just to show you. But the reason I was asking is because this whole portion right here, his whole back, feels like metal. Like this whole torso feels heavy as it can be, and it feels like a different material than his shoulder pads. It's colder. That's why I was asking. But yeah, this guy is hefty. He's pretty weighty. And the articulation's really good on this guy too. I mean, you've got an arm, he's got all this armor, and he's got this, what I'm guessing is a non-removable hose. And like, look how far he can bend that arm up with the hose attached. Like, that's
this line of figures, I mean, as you collect more and more and see different types of build outs, depending on the armor and the type of character, you're going to realize that many of these characters here actually articulate better than some of the 6-inch figures that we have on the market by far.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm really looking forward to our talk today about Warhammer, because I absolutely, I know nothing. I'm like a complete novice, but I love figures in mech armor, like suits of like mech suits. I'm down for that. And so a friend of mine and we like to play the Warhammer Space Marine 2 video game. Again, I know nothing of the lore, but I love playing that game. And so I started out buying the McFarlane ones because they're in stores. They're $25, $30, whatever. They're easily accessible. Like you can get your hands on them pretty easily. But when I found Joy Toy, I sold all of my McFarlane. I was like, I don't care that these are smaller. They're just, I can get them for about the same price. I want to say that a typical Joy Toy is like what, $35, $40. I got this one. Yeah, I got this one on clearance from Big Bad Toy Store for like $29.99 or something like that. But I mean, he can move all the way around, which is crazy. His arms like have like more mobility than I expected. Like the engineering, I don't know how like these parts fit on, but the shoulder pauldron is like part of the arm itself. And so you can get that full rotation. You've got mobility in the head. Of course, not a lot because of, this has got like a big head inside of a small little area. The legs are, you can, the legs are super mobile. Like you can bend them like all the way back. It's just crazy the amount of stuff. And I love this big, I'm a huge Hellboy fan. So this guy's got the right hand of Doom, but he's got the left hand of Doom over here, ready to go. And then he does come with like a really cool weapon, like some sort of like bolt blaster. I know Andy knows the names of all this stuff. I'm sure you do too.
Storm Bolter. Storm Bolter.
Storm Bolter. Okay. And the only other accessory and the hands have enough give to the fingers to where you're not gonna, you don't feel like you're gonna break the hand by pulling them apart to get the rifle in there. And he comes with a fist. So if you want to like change out the fist, the hands are like on like little ball joints. Yeah, dude, this is incredible. Like the weathering and the airbrushing and everything. It's so nice.
Yeah, the plastic composition, I would compare Joy Toys plastic, another term, the hand candy. I would say that theirs is very equivalent to Jada Toys' new line. That same type of thick, heavy, but yet really smooth.
Let me make you big here.
Yeah.
I got to see this guy. He looks
So
incredible.
this guy, he's a Legion player. This son's a horse. This is the one with the power axe. So, I mean, the detail.
Now, I know that guy's going to be a little more expensive than your standard. How much does one of those style figures
He was on Amazon for, I originally ordered this. I do a lot of ordering through LT Cave, which is out of China. They're really a good store. Cool Toys Club and LT Cave are two primaries if you're looking to get stuff sooner, because a lot of these releases will hit the US 2 months after they release. And usually you get some good discounts on LT Cave or Cool Toys Club. So he's about, I got him on $57. But he comes with,
my gosh.
He comes with an alternate head sculpt. Okay. And then let's see if I can get that clear, because it's really, of course, it's not going to. But and then he comes with his weapon, which is absolutely amazing.
Now, what's that called?
I actually don't know the name of this one, believe it or not.
Andy.
And then he has a holster, and if you can see, even the holster is soft and flexible, but yet holds its form, and he can sit there and holster his gun right in there. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with these. Everything fits on them usually.
Yeah,
and then
so nice. Oh my gosh, that's just killer.
And that's his power axe. And this is a two-handed power axe or a single-handed, but I mean, just the amount. I mean, you can see the skulls up there. Yeah, I love the gritty lore of the horse heresy / of War 40,000 lore itself. There's two main factions, and we'll talk about that later. There's two brief histories of what goes on with this Joy Toys / Warhammer type world created by Games Workshop. And
so this other little guy that I opened just to show you, he is the Blade Guard, Ultramarines Blade Guard veterans, just to show you like what I'm talking about, like paint wise. Like, look at the paint apps from this guy, the weathering on his armor and his skirt piece, how the sword is actually in the scabbard. It's not like a hilt that unplugs and you get, like a fake sword, like that actually works. Like, just look at the dusting on the armor. Like, oh my gosh, it's just so good. The little details, all the little scripture pieces.
Yeah, the wear and tear in the armor is just amazing, and the fades. And some of the figures have a little bit more than others. Like I brought this guy over because I think you were going to open up another one, weren't you?
This was the other one. Yeah, this was the other one. I opened both. Just so that here, let me make. Oh my gosh, I love those. The black. What's the black and white armor called?
Well, this is what was the one that you showed me earlier?
Oh,
remember?
The Raven Guard.
Yeah, so this is the Raven Guard.
I have one.
So they have alternate helmets too in their character design, but I mean they come with even their jetpacks and stuff. Look at that.
Now this is a Raven Guard. What is this called?
Yeah, this is the Raven Guard. It's just it's an interceptor. But I mean, everything moves. You can pose it as you need. And
Yeah.
I mean, the cables.
So this guy's like is he sort of like an aerial trooper?
Yeah, he's an aerial trooper. Yeah, he comes with a stand that has a waist piece or a gripper on the
Like
front.
a flight stand.
Yeah,
Can
you
we
can
see
actually
that again from the front? Can we see? Oh
Yeah.
man, dude, he looks great.
I mean, they even got stuff here like his stuff,
Oh man.
and
I
look at
may
the
need that
paint
one.
on the helmet. This is the thing. Like once
Yeah.
again, back to that wear, that dark wash
Yeah.
and stuff like that on there. The skull in the middle is a raven skull instead of
Man.
And then on the helmet, if you look at the helmet, it's a raven that's across his helmet.
Yeah, that's dope right there. Yeah, I got my Raven Guard to go along with one of these, like the little cycles. I love like big chunky like sci-fi motorcycles. That just gets me, man. I mean, seriously. I mean, what were we just talking about with this guy? I love like in Macross or Robotech. I love the characters that drove the motorcycles, that the motorcycle would transform around them and the wheels would go up on their back. Like, so anybody with like a really cool motorcycle in the sci-fi world, like I'm into that.
Oh yeah.
And I do. Andy says the old school Mark 6 beaky helmet. Yeah, I have one more on pre-order. It's a Raven Guard that has the beaky helmet, kind of like the guy Blake just showed off. That I'm really looking forward to. For that some reason that helmet is just, it's amazing. So, hey, I'm here for it. Give us a little information about Warhammer for those who don't know anything about Warhammer, and then like a little background on Joy Toy as a company.
Yeah. So Warhammer is basically based off of a tabletop war game that was created by Games Workshop. These are officially licensed by Games Workshop through Joy Toy. Warhammer has two main universes. Okay. They have the 40,000, and then they have this, which is the sci-fi setting. And then they also have the Age of Sigmar, which is those figures, actually their first Age of Sigmar waves are finally starting to ship. So you can research those. They're pretty darn cool. That's a whole nother portion. And that's the fantasy
sci-fi
setting.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, cool.
So yeah,
Right.
so 40K, Horus, all that, that's your sci-fi. And then Age of Sigmar is your fantasy. And both involve the tabletop gaming, the collection of miniatures and models, and playing out the hidden battlefields on tabletop type stuff. Now, the interesting part is a lot of people don't understand that, like, if you don't know Warhammer, you've probably seen it, but Warhammer is the American version of D&D in Europe. So we had D&D, they had Warhammer. And because of the popularity, D&D is now pretty much everywhere over the decades, and Warhammer has definitely infiltrated and come over to the Americas over here, and it's pretty popular. So, I mean,
I can only imagine that it's going to get even more popular whenever Henry Cavill gets this Warhammer show, live action show off the ground at, I believe, Amazon.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I think that's going to just put the popularity of this thing through the roof.
And I want to comment on that. So Henry Cavill playing one of the Ultramarines. I believe he's going. Yeah, we'll leave it out because there's still some stuff out there. But he is going to play an Ultramarine. Henry Cavill's been a fan and has played this game. He has his whole miniature collection. He has a huge. He's huge into it. So this is a dream come true for him.
Yeah.
One of the things that's great about having a fan, as we well know, like with Four Horsemen, the reason the figures and the releases are so wonderful is because they're fans themselves and they know how to bring it. Having Henry Cavill on this project with Warhammer is excellent because he is such a fan. And he told Amazon, because originally they had some things up for Amazon, and he basically stepped in and said, here's the deal. This needs to be a dark, gritty, vicious world. You cannot portray it. This can't be a mom and pop series. This has to be like hardcore. Because let's just put it this way. The world of 40,000, okay, you don't want to live there. Okay. It is a horrible battle for the universe. And everybody and their brothers trying to take everybody out. You've got your Ultramarines, which are the Ultra Saviors, to some of the all the lead Primarchs have their own factions. And it's just a bloody battle from one thing to another. So
Yeah, it looks like a very brutal world where, like, it looks like when people get like damaged in battle or they get injured, like it's like they're not even like patched up properly, like armor parts are just slapped on or bolted over like
oh
skin
yeah,
grafts, it like you've got like the villains, have like stuff like skeletons that just have like plates and guns just bolted into their bones. It looks brutal and harsh and scary. Yeah, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't look soft
no,
at all.
no, and shout out to Rob Custodes. Right on, brother. Custodes they're pretty amazing. They are the saviors. They are some of one of the best factions out there. It depends who you ask, but I'm right
And
there
so
with you.
this is going to be different than Henry Cavill being a part of The Witcher because with The Witcher, the way that went down was he loved the character so much. He loved Geralt of Rivia. He loved the books. He loves the games, but he kept trying to. He didn't have any say in the direction or the writing. He kept saying this. He needs to be more than a one-note grunt walking around casting spells. Like, he's very intelligent. He knows this world inside and out, and they just ignored him, which is eventually why he ended up leaving the series. So I think that is what has influenced him with Amazon, saying, bringing this to Amazon and saying, I think Henry is going to be one of those where he's like, I have to be an executive producer on the show. Like, I have to be in somewhat control of the writer's room and the way that we're going to bring this in. If we're not going to do it right, then we're not going to do it. Because I don't think he wants another Witcher series situation on his hands where he has to like step away because they're not listening. And that's exactly what he did. They didn't listen. He's like, okay, I'm walking. And now they're bringing in Liam Hemsworth to finish the series out because it's very popular for Netflix. But, I can tell you, we're not going to be watching it without Henry because my wife is a huge Henry Cavill fan. So am I. And like, she will watch anything he does. Like, he's doing Voltron. She's like, I'm there. Is he going to do this robot show you're talking about? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I'm going to watch it. Like, she loves him. So she's like, I'm going to watch him do anything. So.
Yeah. To Andy's point, the Secret Level episode is excellent. In fact, out of the Secret Level, I think the Warhammer episode is my favorite. I know it's a little partial because I like Warhammer, but it's out of all of them. I mean, there's some really good videos in there, segments, but that one just knocks your socks off with definition, the amount of, it's just amazing. That's another thing. If you've ever watched, or if you've never have, get on YouTube and just pull up the Warhammer, cut scenes or anything like that. The video, the amount
cinematics,
there's a cinematic where they're fighting the Tyranids, and I think this is a very popular one. And you've got your several faction armies. They're fighting the Tyranids. They're just getting overran, and it's just gritty. And then all of a sudden, there they come, the Ultramarines, and they just come down. When they land, and there's like, and the little soldier is like this big compared to the Ultramarine, and you hear them, and these guys. And what I love about it, just like we love about Star Wars, what do we love about anything, all the lores? What is the thing that we keep coming back to? We keep coming back to good versus evil, right? And that we want to see good overpower evil. And Warhammer, the Ultramarines are that faction that is known for so much of being the saviors. There's some side stories to that, but the end result is when you see the Ultramarines show up, you can almost go, I think we're going to live.
Right.
I think we have a chance.
Yep.
You have a chance. Did you say a chance? You have a chance. And
so you're saying there's a chance. No,
absolutely.
I like, you're right. Because it's kind of like when the Spartans show up in the world of Halo, or, like if the army's fighting, then all of a sudden here comes the Avengers. Like, you're like, okay, they've got this under control. Yeah. I love that aspect of it. I don't know if that was a clip from Space Marine 2, but I remember there being like a cinematic that was shown before Space Marine 2 was announced. And it was not gameplay, but it was something very similar to that, where like this army is like trying their best to fight those little Tyranids, and then like the Ultramarines show up and they're like, oh my god, and then it just gets bloody. Plus there's also chainsaw swords. Who doesn't love chainsaw swords?
Oh, chainsaws, I'm telling you right now. So a little bit more for the 40K history. There's some notes I have made, so if you see me, is a grim science fantasy that basically is post-apocalyptic universe set in a distant future. Okay, it's characterized by a stagnant and the stagnation of human civilization and struggling against hostile aliens, supernatural forces, and internal corruption. The setting is violent and pessimistic, with humanity as a constant and internal total war and turmoil. So I think what's interesting about Warhammer, you can take this to other, lores, but Warhammer is basically, I hate to say this, but it's what we're living, but how bad it could get. And what I mean by that is if you really go back and sit there and say, characteristics about human civilization, how to get along, and hostilities and, internal corruption and all this other stuff. There's just so much that you can look at this world not only from the artistic point, but from the reality of what we do every day. Obviously, it's not as bad as this horrible place that's here. That's just absolutely blood and guts and deception and domination. But it allows you to foster the feeling of like, wow, I get it. But then there's the Ultramarines, you have that hope. And I think that's what's really neat. And with the Star Wars, you and I are both big Star Wars fans also, watching young Luke and his journey and Princess Leia and Chewbacca and Han Solo and the camaraderie and humanity and the humor against Darth Vader, and the Legions of Dark throughout that whole storyline as it continues in the side stories. It's just something you sit back and I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's nurture versus nature with us. But the end result is we want to see the good prevail, and the Warhammer, it's a tough one. It's a tough world, a tough lore. And some of the cutscenes, some of the games, some of the books, some of the board battles you play out, they look pretty overwhelming that you're not going to win. But then something comes through depending on how strategic you are. And it's really a fun world. Joy Toy getting this license, I couldn't think of anybody honestly better to carry out this license for two reasons. One, Joy Toy has the technology and the skill set to make highly accurate, painted, functional, articulated action figures at a smaller scale, at a 1/18 scale that a lot of people just can't match, a lot of companies out there. The second part why Joy Toy I think is knocking it out of the park is because they're not just bringing the key players. This is all Joy Toy Warhammer. I have 2 more cases over there. That's just in 5 years. And what I like about it, and some people will be like, well, that's earlier you were talking about the NECA cartoon series being so deep, and it's like blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If you want to talk about deep, right? But every single one of these figures is absolutely hand candy. They're amazing. They're a pleasure for you to visually look at. They articulate. You can pose them. You can put them in whatever. And you can actually, they literally look like they took them off somebody's hand-painted, like high-level, miniatures. I mean, there's people that I know. Shout out to a guy on this channel. His name is Ray.
Sorry, I think I lost you. Can everybody hear? Hang on one second. Can everybody hear Blake? Or am I the only one who can't hear Blake? Sorry, I just like the audio cut out. I can't hear you at all. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. Somebody in the chat, let me know who can you hear, who can you not hear. Let me see if let me see. Let me turn you off for a second, bring you back on.
Switch sides. Can you hear me now? There we go.
Chat. My yeah, he sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Can hear him just fine. Okay. I can't hear you.
Oh, that's not good.
You can hear us both. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. Let me try something on my end. I apologize. Give me 1 second.
The fun of going live.
Okay. Can you say something?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay. Maybe it was just on my end. Sorry to interrupt. Continue on.
I think that's kind of like, I think that's your built-in skill. You know, at the Oscars, when they start playing the music, I'm supposed to shut up and get off the stage. I think maybe I was talking too long. But
No,
anyways,
not at all.
the Joy Toy getting this, one of the things I think that I said there's two components why I think Joy Toy was the right choice and why they continue to knock it out of the park and why Games Workshop continues to renew the license for them to continue to making more figures is for the sheer fact that they have the capability to go deep. They have the capability to make these figures. And yeah, I don't know. I think love lots of different figures. I'm a huge Four Horsemen. I don't say that to, you know, put a stamp. I'm just a huge Four Horsemen fan for many reasons. We all know that. Getting into some other lines like 3-0 and their engineering and their Transformer lines and stuff like that, phenomenal. But Joy Toy has taken this, and the Games Workshop has to be absolutely ecstatic. In the Warhammer community, there's a guy that I follow that we actually have built a really good friendship. He goes by Wraith Mace, WRAITHMACE. He has his own channel. He will actually be at Legions Con this year with a Grey Knights cosplay that he had custom made in China. Literally, the shipping yesterday when I was watching his live stream, because he also plays Space Marine Live, Space Marine 2 Live, and does like a bunch of teams. He's super awesome guy. He is bringing that to wear at Legions Con. The shipping yesterday he got from China, shipping is $1,200 for shipping alone for his outfit. So the ownership around Warhammer and the followers is massively globally backed. The artistic aspect, Joy Toy is definitely able to match what they are. It's literally like taking a high-end miniature painter's craft and blowing it up into 1/18 scale. There's not a lot of toy companies out there.
You get one in hand, guys. If you've never touched one, when you get one in hand, you can't believe they made this for $50 or $35 or $40. You honestly cannot. Your brain won't accept it. You're like, how do they do this at this scale? And then you see Marvel Legends or Black Series, and you're like, what? It just doesn't make sense. Like, that's what blows me away is, and like, I am not the market really for, I'm gonna blow you up. I'm not really the market for Warhammer. I don't know the lore. I don't read the books, but I love that guy is incredible. Now, is he big like the guy I showed off? Is he?
That's why I pulled him out. He's just like your other figure you pulled out there. I mean, but just the amount and the lighting on my tablet right now is kind of washing some of this out. But I mean, literally the shadowing in this shield is just absolutely amazing. And then he comes with swappable heads. And then you got the librarians, which is hilarious.
Look at that. Gosh.
And everything moves. Look at the, and you know, I'm a big, if you guys, you know, you follow me on any of my pictures on my Instagram, you know, I'm huge on like skulls and I like all the, like the dark stuff or like, no, I'm not a brother of Satan or anything. I just like that. I think that the dark characters or the bad guys or whatever in any type of stuff, Darth Vader, I think is more dynamic than Luke Skywalker. I think those type characters just are so much awesome. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, the amount of detail on these figures is just absolutely crazy. And
what was he probably another like what $55 figure?
Yeah, this one was 55. This one was actually he was 65 because I think because of the shield. I mean, he's pretty complex. Yeah. And then all you have these are impurity. These are purity seals. So when you see all these different, they're like wax or metal stamps that have like their accomplishments of something they did, whether it was to the faction, in battle, whatever. So this is kind of, these are awards. So the more you see the purity seals, that usually means highly decorated. Or
yeah, my guy had one on. This guy has one like right here. And those things too, they're like separate pieces that are like popped on with like a ball peg, so that you can move them and rotate them or take them off, put a different one on. Let's see here. My goodness. That's insane. Now, is that still Warhammer, or is that the fantasy?
No, this is Warhammer. It's part of the Custodies. I got this for Rob.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Custodies are amazing, and I will give me 1 second.
I think if we ever let Rob into your place, like, he would never leave. And he's not that far from me. He's just down in LA somewhere. Look at that. Look at that weapon. The thing is, it's like a hammer and a spear and a sword and a guitar. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
Rob,
mean,
just head north to Portland, Rob, and you can go play with all of.
He and I have talked. He's like really wants to come up. Yeah,
I bet. Hey, where can I watch or learn or play more about the Age of Sigmar? Are there movies out, like animated, or like?
I'm not aware of it, but what I've done is I've really updated myself through YouTube. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. That's where I would go. Yeah, I'm beating Lance's record. Oh boy, I don't know if that's good or bad.
He's talking about the fact how when he was on, like, we went for like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and Greg and I have never done that before.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, there's a lot here, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure that Blake could go, if we just turned him loose. I think Blake could go all day and get us all caught up for sure.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I'll just do this really fast for you. This will just
going to blow this up. All right, Rob, put a bib on.
So literally, like, look at that.
My God,
that's the Ultramarines. Here's some orcs, and I mean, we're talking. Here you go, Custodies.
This is what a professional adult with a great job looks like, guys. Look at that. My goodness.
Look at this is something that
big
I think.
Walker.
Oh,
Whoa.
dude, let me tell you, when these came out, I had to get more than just one of them. They remind me of the AT-AT walkers.
Yeah.
The AT-ATs. Look at that. Oh, look at that. And look who those guys are. I actually popped those in there. That's actually that's actually not Warhammer. Those guys are. But yeah, I mean, just the amount of, and then you get up to here. There's Horus Heresy himself.
If you haven't already, Andy said, show the Blood Angels.
Oh, the Blood Angels. You got it. Where we at? Oh, here we are.
Those the red guys? I think those are
the ones lots of Blood Angels.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Rob says, do you get the Necrons?
Oh yeah. The Necrons are over.
That's the is that the skeletons with like the light guns or whatever?
See if I can get this open here.
Plasma rifles or whatever they're called. I don't
got
know.
these locking cases here, but let me show you something here real quick. There's your Necrons, Rob.
Look at that. That sword is insane. Wow.
And this is my
what are the white ones
Toys
called?
Oh my gosh, I knew you were going to ask me that, and I just truly drew a blank, and I feel embarrassed.
Andy, who are those guys called?
Andy, come on, help me out, buddy. Look at the Leviathan.
I don't know. I don't think Blake, if you don't know, I don't think Andy knows.
No, Andy probably knows. This is something I want to show you guys. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to put the tablet back down. So the Leviathan Dreadnoughts. So this will get you guys going here. Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here you go.
Andy says they're called the Tau.
Yeah, the Tau. That's it. Thank you. Oh, we saw this one, right?
Right. Come on, get out of town.
Leviathan dreadnoughts. Everything moves,
That's
spins.
$63, everybody. That only costs $63. No, I'm just kidding.
But I
I'm
mean,
sure
look
that
at
was
look
pretty
at look at
pricey.
this.
What?
A
Good
fully
Lord.
populated mech dreadnought. Claws work. Ratcheted joints. And here's the comparison for you.
Look at that. Did those guys get in there and pilot the bigger?
No, these guys don't, but yes, they're.
But regular humans
See
would
his
get
head?
in and like,
Yeah,
oh,
there's
there's
this-
his little head. Look at that.
Yeah. But I mean, just the
Oh, my
amount of
goodness.
details from these figures and the amount of playable capability, and they're there's been some stuff that has happened recently with the new Space Marine 2 figures that they brought out.
Mhm.
So the Space Marine 2 figures,
They're a little larger, right?
yeah. So this is every toy flow has a little bit of drama, right? And this is the new drama with Joy Toys, their new Space Marine figures for the game. Those releases are a tad bit bigger, but the cool part is all their helmets, you can take the top off and they have LED lights you can put in them, and you can actually their helmets glow now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, I want a couple of those from the game because I know the characters from the game.
Yeah, Titus and all that. In fact, the one you've got right there that you showed me, that's actually Titus's helmet. That is him himself. That's the first version released. Yeah, that's pretty much his build out. I don't know where I put him. They're somewhere in this because I probably put them with the Ultimates, but I also want to keep them separate because I think what I'm going to do is, if you see these display cases up here, I have up here on top.
Mm-hmm.
I started getting these from Michael's / Hobby Lobby. Michael's, I'm not sure if you have Michael's out there.
Yep.
But what I did with these, and if you can see them, is some of the smaller runs in factions, instead of taking up a whole shelf, because shelf space is whatever, when I did the Tyranids, I did the Tyranids in these shadow boxes, which are real cool. And what these are the helmet cases that you put like a custom autographed helmet for.
Okay. Yep.
And I just cleaned them up and I turned them, I put LED light in the bottom and they can light up. And then
gorgeous.
I actually
Brilliant.
take the different factions. So like I got Horse Heresy in this one, and his main faction. I've got the Tyranids in this one. And then some of these other ones over here, like I even did my my Sonic figures and then my Jada.
Oh, nice.
I know the screen on my tablet's kind of washing some stuff out, but so these are excellent. And you can get these a lot of times at Michael's. I mean, they're on sale right now for like $39, and they're normally like $80.
Yeah, here's the one that he was talking about. And then like you can see how like this little decoration is a separate piece that you could remove if you wanted, and then like his little story thing that he was talking about, the stamp, like that's a soft piece, so you're not going to break that off. And
I'll give you another example of one more thing before we in the Sisters Adeptus, the girls have their battle mechs. Okay. And the one thing why I'm showing you this is actually the first figure. They started doing metal joints. And if you look right here, you can see they actually have metal joints.
Oh my gosh.
And they're so smooth. I mean, but look at the detail on this. Look at this.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I recommend if anybody like William, if anybody's interested, like hop on Big Bad Toy Store and just search for Joy Toy Warhammer and then sort by price, because they usually have a couple that are like in the $20 range, $20 to $30 range, and you can get your hands on one for pretty cheap. And then once you get one, you're just like, man, these are so worth it. Like, again, I'm not the biggest fan in the world. I'm not the smartest person with I know none of that stuff, but I love a good mech suit figure, and that's exactly what these are. Rob says, for the longest time, I've been wanting to get into the Joy Toy 40K line, but I know it's a rabbit hole I'm dreaming to go down. I'm dreading to go down. So I just enjoy them from afar, but I love the story and the lore. And then one day I'll pick up a Custodes. Absolutely. And then Andy says, yeah, just grab an intercessor and try them out. I'm going to try to track down some info on the Age of Sigmar, because I did not know that Warhammer had a fantasy setting. And looking at the figures, which I put a link in the chat, the figures look really, really cool. And, with over the week, some of my friends and I were in our private chat. We're talking about our Legions chat. We're talking about like, what are some of the possibilities for what is the line? What's the upcoming Mythic Legions line where they're going to be doing figures for other IPs?
Oh, that's the Infinites?
Yeah, is it Infinites or Infinities, or is that
Infinites? It's Infinites, yeah, because they just had a posting where they did it with they just had a meeting and they just put on their website, all their socials, the picture with them and the head of Onel Studios for, I think they're getting ready. I think that's getting ready to come out.
Versions, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but what's the other toy, the other Mythic Legions line where they're doing other figures like in the Mythic Legions scale that are from other IPs? What is, somebody in the chat knows? Rob,
that's what I think that is. I think that's what it's called. Maybe it's called, hold on, let me think here.
Well, that's two different lines, right? There's the Mythic Legions tributes with from other people's IPs, and then there's the Glyos. Like, that's two different, right? Or is that the same?
No, it's the same thing. That's the same thing.
That's the same thing.
And the Glyos,
so they're doing other characters, other IPs, but they're doing it in the Glyos style.
Yeah, so that's why it's the tribute figure in a Legions form, and okay, that will be the first one that's chosen, and they just published that. Infinite Legions.
Okay. Okay. That's the Infinite line. And are these Glyos size, or are they Mythic Legion size?
No, they're going to be Mythic Legion size. They're taking whatever the IP they're going to collaborate with, and the Glyos is going to be the first one.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I misunderstood that whole announcement last year at Legions Con. I thought they were making Glyos compatible Mythic Legions characters, and then the Infinites was going to be something else entirely. I did not know. Okay, all right, well, there we go. There's the official word, right? Yeah, same thing. Trevor, he knows. He's probably already seen them and shot them. Who knows?
I'm sure he has.
Okay, so the reason I bring that up is I bring that up to say, Blake, would it be amazing if they did a tribute to Warhammer 40K and they do some sort of, I know Emil's done one.
Emil did custom. Emil did a really awesome one that he gave to Carlos from Badass Reviews.
Yeah.
That one was,
that thing is, yeah. And I know he was trying to sell that recently. I think he was needing some financial assistance. And
he reached out to me and I was going to grab, he actually reached out to me before Legions Con last year. And I had money saved up for Legions Con. I just didn't know if I wanted to obligate the money for that. And then, but I mean, Carlos, we all know Carlos is an awesome guy, but that figure is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that guy looks incredible. Well, look, we have literally blown this out of the water. We didn't quite break the record with Lance from Lansing, Michigan when Curtis was on. But we have gone
Lance.
Like, I am really glad that the chat was like really into this, that there's a lot of Warhammer fans or Joy Toy curious collectors out there. Yeah. Emil had the Justicar. That was it. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
Which is part of the Justicar's part of this
nice
faction here.
Blake, I can't thank you enough for coming on and doing this and sharing your wonderful collection and your wealth of knowledge of Joy Toy stuff and Warhammer stuff with us. You, sir, are my definitive. You are the person I'm going to if I have Joy Toy Warhammer questions. And then Andy's right there to back you up. Andy and Rob, I'm sure, would love the opportunity to come and hang out at your spot and check out your place. It just looks incredible. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for being here with us today and on this really long episode. I really appreciate it. I think it was great. It was a lot of fun. So, dude, I always love just sitting and hanging out and talking with you, man. Absolutely.
That's a blast. Sometime it'd be cool to get on here and just be me, you, and Schmerbs.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Everybody wants to come and hang out with me and Schmerb. They always want to like make it triple jointed. I don't know. I don't know if there's always that's too much goodness all at once. But thanks to the chat, everybody who's been here and hung out and been watching and commenting and hanging out with us today. We super appreciate it. Hey, Blake, where can we find you on your socials?
Pretty simple at Instagram. At the ReconRage page is what it actually is. ReconRage page on Instagram. And then, of course, I'm obviously making my rounds on whatever show wants to have me on. I love to come on and talk toys with all of you. It's a blast, and it's something I very much look forward to. Brings me great joy, and I appreciate you, Mark.
Yeah, 100%, dude. You're one of my favorite people to hang out and talk with. So thank you guys in the chat for hanging out again. Thanks for everybody who hung with us today. Thanks, Blake, again for coming on. Thank you guys watching, catching the replay later on. I really appreciate it. And remember, Blake and I will always catch you in the toy house.